Originally releasing back in 2015, Dying Light quickly went on to become incredibly popular, mixing first-person combat with moving around a huge open world utilizing parkour-style moves. It was a fresh take on the zombie genre, and considering how well the game sold, it was only a matter of time before an actual Dying Light sequel was announced. However, the development for Dying Light 2 has seemingly been an arduous one, with multiple delays and long periods of information drought. Although the game was announced all the way back in 2018 at E3, Dying Light 2 continued to be a mystery for quite a while outside of announcements by Techland confirming numerous delays. While 2021 started with still little to no information on the game, Techland has made massive strides in the months since, releasing new content and videos showing the game and its many new features. While everything seems set in stone for a late 2021 release, more unfortunate news has seemingly arrived. Even with an anticipated December release date on the way, the official Dying Light Twitter account provided fans an update on the current development of the game. In an effort to be honest and transparent with the community, the studio announced another delay to the anticipated zombie game, which now launches a few months later on February 4, 2022. The update apologized for the need to delay the game again, but the studio confirms that the added time will be put to good use. While the game itself is content complete, the size and scope of the project has made it the biggest that Techland has ever worked on. Naturally, this has also complicated the testing phase, which is progressing a bit slower than the studio anticipated. As such, more time is needed to polish and optimize Dying Light 2 up to the quality levels the studio envisioned for it. Even with the added wait, the studio is planning more reveals, with the next reveal happening next month as fans and press go hands-on. With what has been shown already, it's readily apparent that Dying Light 2 pushes the franchise forward. While it brings back the familiar first-person parkour gameplay, Dying Light 2 also adds in plenty of new elements as well. Not only do players have access to tools like a paraglider and grappling hook to help move around the open world, but there's also a faction system that introduces choices players can make that will both influence and change the city, which also impacts gameplay in specific ways. Fans of the zombie genre were already impressed by Techland when it released Dying Light as a follow-up to Dead Island. Dying Light 2 seems to be expanding upon the original game's formula even more, which has caused plenty of excitement to surround the game. The previews, trailers, and looks into its development have only given fans more to gawk over, so if Dying Light 2 doesn't deliver on a high-quality experience, it could be disastrous. If the game ends up being as good as it looks, it'll stand out from the crowd in an already oversaturated genre of zombie action games. However, if it releases before it's ready, then it could still stand out for all the wrong reasons. Delaying Dying Light 2 seems to have been the correct move on Techland's part, as we have been waiting for years to see the game and expectations are pretty high. The studio has set Dying Light 2 up for success, and if it delivers the ambitious parkour experience that it's promising, then it could be one of the all-time zombie game greats. Moving forward, we have another game delay, as Battlefield 2042 has officially been delayed from its October release date, pushing back a few weeks into November. Release date delays have been a huge pain for gamers this year, as the slate of upcoming games gets jumbled around, leaving holes in some places and clusters of notable games in others. It seems that nothing is safe from being delayed either, as even the biggest AAA games move from one date to the next. Now, Battlefield 2042 is being delayed out of October, following a rumor stating that would be the case. Over on Twitter, the official Battlefield account shared a brief message with fans, notifying them that the game is being pushed from its initial October release date to November 19th. The delay specifically cites the global coronavirus pandemic as a driving factor for the delay, which caused additional complications due to the scope Battlefield 2042 is aiming for. The team had hoped that conditions would improve enough to allow game developers to work in an office rather than remotely, but that simply didn't come to pass. The coronavirus pandemic is still having a massive effect on the world, and it's dramatically shaken the way that games are being developed globally due to its effects. With that in mind, the extra time to polish Battlefield 2042 makes sense. But we cannot blame the pandemic all the time. For some, the shift might even be seen as a boon. The October release window has been uncharacteristically packed with new games, seeing the release of Far Cry 6, Guardians of the Galaxy, Mario Party, and more over the course of 4 weeks. While many of the games appeal to starkly different audiences, Battlefield 2042 may, in part, be looking to distance itself from some of the other AAA games out there. This November 19th release date still lands before Black Friday, the biggest shopping day of the year, so it makes strategic sense for EA too. However, the November 19th release date sandwiches Battlefield 2042 between two of the other biggest shooters of the year, Halo Infinite and Call of Duty Vanguard, which are slated to release on December 8th and November 5th, respectively. That means 3 major new shooter games will be released over the span of about a month, and from 3 of the biggest FPS franchises ever made to boot. While the relatively short delay has left many Battlefield fans sighing in relief, it's also prompted several follow-up questions. One of those questions has now been officially answered, as Battlefield 2042's early access has a newly updated starting date. EA Studios lead community manager Adam Freeman provided inquisitive fans with an official date on Twitter. He says that while the team is understandably being barraged with questions regarding Battlefield 2042's delay right now, the development team appreciates the support and will get information out as it's available. With that in mind, Freeman confirms that Battlefield 2042's new early access day has been moved to November 12th, a week ahead of Battlefield 2042's new release date. Early access, for those unfamiliar, is an exclusive benefit for those who pre-order certain editions of Battlefield 2042. Both the Battlefield 2042 Gold Edition and the Battlefield 2042 Ultimate Edition, priced at $89.99 and $109.99 respectively, include early access to the full game's launch. This perk is different than the early access to Battlefield 2042's open beta, which is separate and available to all pre-orderers of Battlefield 2042. While the confirmation of Battlefield 2042's early access starting November 12th from Freeman is good to have, it's not exactly a surprising reveal. That's because the originally planned early access period started October 15th, also 7 days ahead of the original October 22nd launch. In other words, EA's early access plans haven't changed whatsoever. Early access remains a full week ahead of launch, but delayed like Battlefield 2042's launch date. Just to clarify any confusion, it will take some time before Battlefield 2042's official websites and other related marketing accurately reflect the new dates for both Battlefield 2042's release and early access. Freeman asks fans to be patient while these details are updated. Until then, the original October dates may still be shown, but November 12th and November 19th are correct. As for Battlefield 2042's open beta dates, both for early access and for open access, Freeman says the team is still working out the final details. Freeman doesn't expect these dates to be finalized immediately, but does hope to provide an update on what's going on next week. A rumor spread on Thursday dropped the dates of October 6th for early access and October 8th for the full open beta, but Battlefield fans will have to wait to find out if those dates prove correct. As with all delays, there will likely be some fans upset by the news, but it's ultimately a good thing. Delays give developers more time to fix and polish their games, and even just a few weeks can have a major impact on the final product, but overall delays really sucks. Speaking of FPS, according to a reputable Call of Duty leaker, the 2022 Call of Duty game is set to be a sequel to the popular 2019 Modern Warfare. There aren't many guarantees in life, but a new Call of Duty game releasing every year is one of them. Activision has published a brand new Call of Duty game every year without fail since 2005's Call of Duty 2, and with the franchise continuously topping the sales charts, there's no sign of it stopping anytime soon. The 2021 Call of Duty game is the World War II shooter Call of Duty, Vanguard, but it seems 2022 will take players back to a present-day setting. This is according to Tom Henderson, a reputable leaker who has accurately leaked plenty of Call of Duty news in the past. Henderson recently made the claim that the 2022 Call of Duty game is going by the codename Project Cortez, and that it is expected to be a sequel to the 2019 Modern Warfare game. 2019's Call of Duty Modern Warfare was quite a popular entry in the Call of Duty franchise, and with Infinity Ward next up to bat, it makes sense that the developers would pursue a sequel to the original MW. According to Video Games Chronicle, alleged insiders at Activision said 2022's Call of Duty will center on a covert war being waged by U.S. Special Forces against a dangerous Colombian drug cartel. The game's codename, Project Cortez, is an alleged reference to the 1994 Harrison Ford film Clear and Present Danger, where Ford's Jack Ryan is tasked with stopping a Colombian drug cartel led by Colonel Felix Cortez. No other information about the game has been shared online. The 2019 Call of Duty Modern Warfare was a massive success for Activision, and it stands to reason that the follow-up in 2022 will be just as popular, if not more so. It will allow Infinity Ward to work with next-generation hardware a couple of years into the new console's lifespans, so it could result in rather technically impressive games that are visual stunners to boot. The game would presumably incorporate the popular features and modes from the original Modern Warfare, but advance the story so fans can see what happens next. Call of Duty Modern Warfare multiplayer seasons and the Warzone Battle Royale already continued the MW storyline in some key ways, confirming that certain characters that were believed to be dead are actually alive. There's still plenty of room for a proper Modern Warfare sequel to advance the plot, though, so it will definitely be interesting to see what direction the story goes in. In the meantime, it will be interesting to see what the Call of Duty Modern Warfare sequel ends up being called, as a Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 already exists. One has to imagine that it will incorporate the Modern Warfare name somehow, but it seems unlikely that it will simply tack a 2 at the end of it and call it a day. It'd also be interesting to see just how closely the Call of Duty Modern Warfare sequel matches the existing Modern Warfare 2 in terms of story and multiplayer maps. The Call of Duty Modern Warfare sequel likely won't be revealed until summer of 2022, so fans have about a year to wait before they learn about the game. For now, they can focus on the upcoming Call of Duty Vanguard, which is set to release on November 5th. Gearbox CEO Randy Pitchford casually confirms that a new entry in the World War II game series Brothers in Arms, one of the best first-person shooter, is in development. While Gearbox is best known for the Borderlands series, it isn't the series serving as the studio's foundational piece. That distinction belongs to the Brothers in Arms series, a tactical FPS set during the latter days of World War II during some of the most intense operations in the European front. Gearbox recognizes this and is set to revisit the franchise, a fact Gearbox CEO Randy Pitchford chose to share in the most casual manner possible earlier in 2021. Pitchford confirmed the game's development during an appearance on the AIAS Game Maker's Notebook podcast back in April, but was not released on YouTube and free podcast services until September. Interviewed by Ted Price from Insomniac Games, as the whole show was about developers interviewing other devs from several studios. The subject came up while Pitchford was speaking on Gearbox waiting to announce Borderlands 3 until it was already in beta and development was nearly complete. He followed this by saying Gearbox is working on another Brothers Arms game, but he wouldn't say more until the game was far enough along in development. The Brothers in Arms series is the oldest series in Gearbox's library, beginning in 2005 with Brothers in Arms Road to Hill 30. The game and its first sequel, Earned in Blood, follows a unit from the U.S. Army's 101st Airborne Division on and the days following the D-Day Normandy invasions. Brothers in Arms Hell's Highway continues the unit's story months later as part of the disastrous Operation Market Garden in the Netherlands. Brothers in Arms was praised at the time for striving to deliver a more grounded, emotional narrative in a World War II game, taking influence from Saving Private Ryan and Band of Brothers' depictions of the war. The gameplay was also praised for the tactical, squad-based gameplay to help stand out in a market dominated at the time by Medal of Honor and Call of Duty. Aside from the three core titles, several spin-offs and ports were developed for mobile platforms including Hour of Heroes, Global Front, and Sons of War. A fourth entry in the series, Furious 4, was announced at Ubisoft's 2011 E3 press conference and presented as a more over-the-top style game. Following negative feedback from fans, Gearbox said it would be the first in a new series before the game was ultimately cancelled in 2015. Gearbox is looking to take Brothers in Arms beyond the gaming space as well. While talking about the upcoming Borderlands film, Pitchford confirmed in April 2020 the studio is working with Ubisoft Television on a TV adaptation of Brothers in Arms. He said the first season is planned to focus on Exercise Tiger, a disastrous D-Day rehearsal that resulted in the deaths of nearly 750 American servicemen. Brothers in Arms is one of the universes I want to return alongside Killzone, Resistance, SOCOM, and I hope it will be brought back in a big way. And that's all for the video, guys. Like and share the video for a greater audience. Comment your thoughts on the topics, and donations are always appreciated. Subscribe to the channel and click the bell icon, and until then, from SMPV, it's goodbye.